everyone,
Right.
Jennifer here. Welcome to the Daily Connoisseur, and I'm so excited to continue my interview series. I have Hilary from Old World Home here, and I know that all of you probably already know who she is because she has such an amazing YouTube channel. But for those of you who don't know, she has a channel called Old World Home. It used to be called My So-Called Home, for those of you who've been following her for a long time. And she's just so gracious to take a little portion of her afternoon and speak with us today. So welcome, Hilary.
Hi, happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're doing this. It's a Sunday afternoon when we're doing this, and we're just laughing because my son is not sleeping. I have him on the monitor. He should be so tired. And I'm being very Mariah Carey. I have a fan blowing on me because I am so hot today. So I just want to announce all of those things before we begin. So yes, I have so many. I'm just so happy to talk to you, and I've just got so many things to ask you. But first of all, what we have here, 2 pregnant ladies, don't we? So how far
Yes,
along
we
are
do,
you as we're
absolutely.
shooting this?
So I am, I think, 26 weeks.
Oh, okay. So I'm a bit more ahead of you.
27 on.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we're shooting this, I'm 33 weeks, and I probably won't post this for a week or two, so we'll be, a bit further out when I post it. But how are you feeling?
6 weeks apart. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had very easy pregnancies, so I can't complain.
Me too. And we were talking about that on Instagram. Yeah, we're so fortunate, honestly, because I don't know how women do it, especially when they have other kids to look after when they don't feel well.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
We're totally blessed. Yeah. And so this is your 3rd child.
My 3rd. We have 2 girls, and now we are expecting a boy.
I know, and it's so exciting. That's what I have right now. I have 2 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
And it is an amazing dynamic. Of course, I don't know anything else, but just to have the girls be the older ones, they are so nurturing and like little mothers, and your daughters are just going to like lavish this baby with so much attention. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for you.
Yes. Yes, I think so. It's going to be very cute. They're very girly and mothering already. Tell their baby dolls, so
I know.
They're very excited.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, so I had a list of questions here, and let's just get right into it. So I wanted to ask you, you have this amazing channel. So her channel is called Old World Home. I'll leave all the links below. If you don't know about her, go check it out and subscribe. It's just so inspirational because you are, Hilary is so talented with interior design. And some people just have an eye for it, And then most people wish they had an eye for it, I think. And then some people are just really talented at putting things together. And that's you. So I have so many questions to ask you about that. But before we do that, I wanted to ask you, why did you choose to start a YouTube channel? What made you do that?
So I had a blog for a couple of years. When we bought our first house, we kind of documented the process of how we decorated it and set up a nursery when we had our first baby. And when I had my first baby, Evie, this was 5 years ago, you're spending a lot of time sitting down nursing, and I just needed something to watch, so I started looking up. I don't know what my first video was, something about organizing. I wanted to know how to organize something. And I discovered this whole YouTube community where people regularly share on their channels. And I thought, that's kind of what I'm doing, just in blog form. So I posted a video that was a room tour that went along with a blog post that I had written because it just made more sense to share it in video form. And after that, I just posted another video and another one, and it just kind of kept going from there. And I started to kind of meet and connect with other YouTube moms and ladies. And it was just such a cool community to be a part of that I kind of put the blog aside and focused more on the video YouTube side of it. And that was 5 years ago, and I'm still doing it to this day.
And so you don't have the blog anymore? You only do videos? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, the blog is long gone. I had to pay for the domain, and I just kind of decided it wasn't worth carrying it anymore. I have all the old photos, before and afters of our first house for me to enjoy. Yes. And of course, with my channel, it started in that house, so I have all those videos as well. So I kind of just let the blog go.
And what you do is so visual that it makes sense to transfer to YouTube and show videos and things like that. So could you, for people who don't know who you are and your style, could you describe your interior design aesthetic for people?
Sure. It's definitely been a long time coming, and it took me a lot of trial and error to figure out what I liked, because I'm drawn to a lot of different styles, and I can see the beauty in so many different interior design styles. But I think with the introduction of Pinterest and Instagram and being able to sort of categorize what it is that you are drawn to and pin it or flag it on Instagram, and then looking at that as a whole, I really could see what I was drawn to the most. So what is classic American style. That's what I love. New England.
Yes.
Lots of warm woods and rich colors. I do love neutrals, of course, too. But definitely classic, timeless. That's what I love.
Yes, that's how I would describe your style. If they said, how would you describe Hilary? I would say classic American, just Americana.
Yep.
And I love it. Like even the dresser behind you. And that looks even a little colonial a bit to me. Is that, or no?
Yes, I do. Yes.
I don't know my terms.
No, that's true. I wish I lived in a 100-year-old colonial home. That would be my dream. But
I love the colonial time period and colonial furniture and homes and everything. How do you balance being a mother and being a YouTuber?
So that comes also with a lot of trial and error. My daughters are really fantastic at playing independently, and that's something I've definitely encouraged from a very young age. Mm-hmm. And having both of them definitely helps because they play with each other. So it's not like when you have one, I feel like it was much harder because she wanted more of my attention.
Yes,
and someone to play with.
The more kids you have, the easier it is. I can testify to that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I come from a big family. I'm one of 8.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we always had built-in playmates and, people to play with. So the two of them play together really well and sort of occupy themselves while I'm doing things on the computer or just planning things out. The actual filming mostly takes place during quiet time.
Yes.
So when my 2-year-old naps and then my 5-year-old has her quiet time, either she's reading or working on some sort of craft project or just playing, that's when I film the most. So then editing sometimes gets done during quiet time, and then a lot of times in the evening is when I edit.
And see, that's what I do too. And do you ever, sometimes I get a little bit bitter because I'm thinking, I could be having a quiet time right now, or I could be reading a book or taking a nap or even cleaning the kitchen. You should see my kitchen right now. I mean, honestly, it is so bad because we're shooting this on a Sunday. Took the family to church. It's like 100 degrees outside. I got home. I quickly cooked lunch. There's corn all over the floor because my son just threw it all over the floor. It's like the biggest mess the kitchen has ever been. I mean, I would never show it, but right now, but and I'm just like, even while they're sleeping, even just to have the privilege of sometimes cleaning the kitchen. So sometimes I'll just, because I'll sit down and I'll work and then I'll clean the kitchen when they wake up and they'll help me and everything. But yeah, sometimes I think, oh wow, if I didn't do this, I'd have a lot more time to myself. So. Yes,
that is true. But I enjoy it. I do. I look forward to sitting down and filming and editing. And a lot of times I just let the mess build up and then I can tackle it later. Because I don't film and edit every single day.
Right.
So on those days, I can be on top of all the cleaning and the house stays nice and neat. But some days it just goes into complete chaos, and it's okay because I know it'll eventually get cleaned up.
And I remember one of your videos where you showed that. You were like, this is real life. This is what it looks like. And I can't remember which one it was, but you showed your kitchen. And I was like, oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Oh, yeah.
It's not perfect over there.
We make huge messes here, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just part of making memories with kids. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is so true. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, how do you budget for decorating? Because... that's what, I love decorating, and we're fortunate. We have a lot of hand-me-downs, and our hand-me-downs are really nice. And I've mentioned that before in my room tour, house tour videos. But whenever I want to buy something for the home, and it's usually expensive unless you go to an estate sale or you find something at a thrift store. If you're going to buy something new, it's usually pricey. And I always feel guilty buying decorations for the home. I don't know why, because I think this could be better. This money could be spent on the children's shoes, or I don't know. I always think that. So how do you budget for decorating?
So those watching may know this about me. If you don't know, I absolutely love to thrift. I love shopping on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So I am always looking for a deal. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that I go out and just pay full price for anything to decorate my home. And if I do, it's usually pretty inexpensive to begin with. Like we just bought new duvet covers for our girls' rooms. So that's something I paid full price for, but it wasn't a lot of money.
And those are expensive.
Yeah, well, these were from IKEA, so these were not good ones. Terribly expensive. They're very cute. But if I did want to buy a big item, I would just budget monthly for it and just save up the money so that I have it in my hands. I know that I've been thinking about the piece for a while, so then
to make sure
I know
you
it's
really
something
want
I really do want.
That makes sense.
Exactly. Because once you have that money in your hand and you've saved for it for so long, it's harder to spend it because you have been so patient with it. So when the time comes to actually spend it and have it leave your hand and you're going to get an item in return, it's something that you really will love for a long time. And that has been such a wonderful part of YouTube, is that it's been able to provide us with a little extra cushion to do house projects and to invest a little in our home. So if I weren't doing YouTube and we were only living off of one salary, I think there'd be a lot fewer house purchases. But because I'm able to work from home in a sense, and I do organizing on the side, I'm able to have a little bit of buffer to add those decor things on a budget to our home.
I wanted to ask you about faux flowers, because it's funny, I like to talk about faux flowers, and I've done a few videos about them and how I don't have them everywhere, but I do use them in rooms that don't get a lot of light or rooms that we don't go into very often. So what you do, really great floral arrangements and things like that. So what are your thoughts on flowers, faux flowers, and all of that?
Fresh flowers, for me, is one of life's little luxuries. I love to spend $10, $15 at the grocery store and buy some fresh flowers and enjoy them for as long as I can. But when they do serve their time and then they're gone, I think there's some really great faux flowers out there, and I think just some are better than others. Some look a little more real. And if you're putting it, like you said, in an area that doesn't get a lot of light, or somewhere high up, maybe on a mantle or on the top of a bookcase or something, where no one's really going to go over and touch it, I think you can totally get away with so many beautiful faux flowers that are available now. Some are definitely better than others, I would say.
Yes, I think they've come a long way. I think a lot of them can look really realistic. They even have fake water now where, from far away you think, oh, is that water? You can't tell. But I'm a fan, and I can tell that some, you're right. I mean, you go and you see, oh, those are so fake. You can just immediately tell. And then some of them are just, they're pretty and they're so far away in a dark corner. It just makes the room look nice. So.
Yeah. These flowers are faux. The ones behind me.
Oh, they are? Okay. And they look great.
Yeah. I was going to say, people have come into my home and asked me where I bought they thought they were fresh.
Oh, nice.
Because they said, oh, how'd you get tulips now? And I said, oh, they're not real, they're faux.
Yeah, and they look real, too. That's why I love that. And I think something that I do, too, is I keep them all monochrome. I keep them all the same. Sometimes when it's this a beautiful arrangement with different things, you think, they didn't do that, did they? But if you just gather a bunch of tulips and put them in a vase, it does look real, and it's so pretty. So let's move to some family questions. So so you're a mother of two, you're about to have your third child. So could you give us what's one or two of your best parenting tips, things you've learned since, becoming a parent?
My oldest is 5, so I'm by no means an expert in anything. But I would say my number one tip, something that I've definitely learned from my parents as well, is just to be consistent. Whether that means following through with what you said in a positive way or in a negative way. If you say, if you do that again, we're going to leave, you have to leave.
You have to leave.
Or if you say, yes. Or if you say, you're not going to be able to, whatever it is, play with this toy anymore if you're too rough with it, and they're rough with it, you have to take it away. Because they are learning what your words mean from day one and whether you actually will follow through with it. So, I don't want to be one of those moms that has to repeat herself 5 times for them to obey.
Yes, me too. I say our motto is you obey the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is a phrase that's said all the time in this house, to obey the first time.
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat myself. So, we're still learning. We're working on it, but I think it's funny, though, my younger one, my 2-year-old, I feel like she has become a better listener because she sees and hears me say that to her older sister so often that she tends to be the one that listens more often the first time.
Oh, that's our experience too, actually. That is our experience as well. I feel like our oldest child was always, pushing the boundaries and see how much she could get away with, and then the younger child is a bit more, amenable to obeying right away. And we say obey with a happy heart. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy. Yeah. I'm just saying let's get our shoes on. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, and it makes family life easier if you just get them on the first time we say it.
And giving fair warning, too.
Yes.
It's not like, we're in the middle of something and I'm totally switching it. Like, there's been a build-up. I'd say when it's time to go, I want you to listen the first time. So I do try to give them that buffer room to know when things are coming. So it's not a total shock.
I remember we were at a play date when we lived in Los Angeles just with our neighbors, and the girls were playing with their girls, and it was time to go, and I just said, okay, girls, it's time to go. And they said, okay. And they got up and they got their roller skates, said thank you, and they left. And the mom was like flabbergasted. She said, how did you get them to leave right away? I'm like, well, I don't know. They just know better than not to. That's good advice.
Years of training and being consistent is what's important.
And talking about transitioning to marriage, how long have you been married?
It has been 12 years.
So, us too.
Yeah, 2006. June of 2000.
2006 here too. Oh, how funny. So what's your best marriage advice then?
To talk about everything. The things you don't want to talk about, the things that you just want to keep inside and you don't want to address them, you have to talk about them. And that's something definitely my husband has taught me, because I am more likely to internalize and just kind of stew over things. But then he's the one that's what's going on? Because once you say it out loud, it always doesn't seem like as big a deal as you've been thinking it is in your head. At least in my experience.
That's so true. I mean, communication is so important. Otherwise, resentments build up and bitterness, and then, suddenly you explode, or I explode. And, I'm bringing up things that happened ages ago, and it's just ugly. So it's so good to address things right away, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm still working on it, but...
Yeah. What does your husband think about your YouTube channel?
He loves it. Yeah, he's very supportive. Yeah. He'll always tell people about it. I'm the more reserved one. Like, I don't always tell people that I have it. And he'll be like, oh, Hilary has a channel. You should check it out and look her up on Instagram and all this. And I'm like, blushing in the
Oh,
background.
me too. I never tell anybody what I do at all. I never, and my husband's always the one telling them. I'm like, shh, don't tell people, because I'm embarrassed. I don't know why.
Yeah. I'm not embarrassed, but when they talk about it right in front of me, that makes me kind of, uncomfortable. I don't care that you watch it. Like, that's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But when you're watching my video in front of me, but I can't.
I get embarrassed. I just don't want to talk about what I do at all. It's really funny. I'm loving these questions. So, okay. So the next one I wanted to ask you was, do you have a cleaning routine? This is for all the people who don't know.
I don't have a routine. No, I do certain things all the time. So I guess if I were to sit down and kind of write out what I do, I guess I would probably have a routine, because I have to clean my kitchen every day. I have to have a clean living room. Pretty much my whole main living space needs to be clean by the end of the day. But as far as the deep cleaning, I really just do that kind of when I think it needs it, or I see something that's really messy and it needs to be addressed. I do it then. I don't really have a schedule for those kind of bigger cleaning tasks.
Yeah.
It's just the daily cleaning pretty much happens daily.
I love that. I love that. So refreshingly honest. I think most people are like that. There's so many really organized YouTubers who have a clean. On Monday I do this. On Tuesday I do this. And that's great. Yeah. I think it just, different things work for different people. And I go through phases where I'll do both. But then when when I have this big, I'm sorry, I'm just catching myself here, and the fan is just, I hope that's not distracting. I'm just so hot. I don't know. Let me turn it off real quick. My hair flying everywhere. But anyway, I think that, I know the baby's coming. I'm almost 9 months pregnant as we're shooting this. The baby's coming soon. And I know that is going to be a few months where it's just, I'm not going to be waking up like the time I normally do. I'm just going to be sleeping as much as I can. Cleaning will kind of go by the wayside. I will just get things done. I'm just like you. I like the living room clean. I like the kitchen clean. And then, the main bathroom everybody uses and everything else. But everything else, we'll see what happens. But then I always enjoy, after getting out of that season in life, just getting back into things and establishing a routine again. So
I'm with you.
And what about cooking? Do you cook every day?
I do. Mm-hmm. I do all of the cooking. I wouldn't say I cook every single day, because we do try to implement leftovers as often as possible. So I guess I'm reheating in that sense. And on the weekends, we pretty much never eat at home. On Saturday and Sunday, we're usually with family or friends. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So I would say definitely 4 nights a week I'm cooking. Possibly a 5th if we're hosting, or we just, there weren't enough leftovers to carry on to another night or something like that. But yes, I try to cook as much as I can. We hardly ever go out to eat.
That's good. Yeah, we don't either. Just because it's so expensive and the kids never eat anything at the restaurant and it's stressful. I'd rather just go with my husband. As I'm shooting this today, I'm actually visiting an old friend from Los Angeles. We're meeting halfway and we're going to a restaurant. I'm so excited. I never do this, so I'm so excited. But yeah, it has to be a real treat for us, because it is an ordeal to take all the kids to a restaurant.
Yeah. It's not worth it. Whatever they would eat in the restaurant, I could make at home for pennies.
I know, right? Chicken nuggets, spaghetti, all the stuff that they serve, right? So what are your children picky eaters, or?
No, not really.
That's good.
And again, we kind of haven't let them be, because, again, I grew up in a big family. I'm at the bottom of the 8 children.
Oh, you're the youngest.
I'm not. I have one younger sister.
Oh, okay.
So growing up, there was never an alternative. This is what's for dinner. This is what you eat. And that's just always the way that I've gone about it for my own kids. And I don't make anything wild and crazy that is, really spicy or really exotic that they, would say they don't like it.
Right.
Because if they say they don't like pasta, chicken, rice. I mean, no, there's no other alternative. This is what's for dinner. And they are pretty great at eating it. So,
that's good. That's so wise. That's a good parenting tip right there, because I've made a few mistakes in that area. So my children all like different things. So one of them likes waffles and the other two don't. One of them loves oatmeal and the other one doesn't. Or, they all like different things. So in the morning, I just make them what I know they're going to eat, but I'm making 3 different breakfasts. So I need to be a bit more of a, more firm with it, because that's how it was in my house. I never got to choose. I mean, I was served and I ate it and I was grateful, and I never would have thought to request something different than what everybody else was having. So,
I'd be growing up, if you didn't like it, you were more than welcome to go in the kitchen and find something else, but we never did that. Mm-hmm. I've realized it's not even about the food, it's just the power struggle. It's just them wanting to know, I can, impose what I want and you're going to listen to me. At least in my experience with my 5-year-old. Because she won't eat it one night and she'll eat it the next night.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So it's not even about they don't like it. There's usually some other reason why they're saying they won't eat something simple, something they've eaten many times before. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if they don't want to eat, there's, if it's dinner, there's nothing else at the end of the day. You're not going to have some alternative. You can go to bed without dinner if that is your choice. Mm-hmm. And they don't do that very often.
But then they wake up hungry for breakfast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a few more questions before we wrapped up. How do you handle social media? So, is social media something you enjoy doing, or does it stress you out, or do you want more of a balance? Do you find yourself talk to us about this?
So the only social media I really use is Instagram. I really hardly ever go on Facebook, and I've never ever done Twitter, so I don't even know. I've never done Snapchat. I don't even know if people even still use Snapchat.
I know, I've never done that either.
Yeah.
So are you on Pinterest?
I do have a Pinterest board, and I look things up on Pinterest, and I pin occasionally, but I don't really interact with anybody through it, so I don't really consider that. It's more just like my inspiration board. Okay. I wouldn't really say it's like a social thing for me. But with Instagram, I go through phases with it. I love Instagram. I love following the people that I enjoy watching on YouTube, or bloggers, or friends I know in real life. But I definitely have to take step backs from time to time, because it's overwhelming seeing how well some people's pages are so well curated and everything is beautiful, and then I look at mine and I don't think it's like that. But then, sometimes I just want to share what I want to share, which is a really great part of the stories that are now on Instagram. I definitely use that more than actually posting a photo.
Do you know, I don't know how to do that. I've done it a few times. I don't even know how I did it. And then the other day I got tagged by Jen from How Jen Does It. And I was like, I want to do this, but I couldn't figure it out. So I never did the tag. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so illiterate with that type of stuff. I just gave up.
That's funny. I do love stories, and you can look up tutorials on YouTube if you need to.
I need to do that. I'm like, one more thing I need to do.
Yeah. And I just think they're great because they're quick, they're casual, you can share and connect with other people. Mm-hmm. There's not as much pressure to be, everything has to be perfect. Like, one photo that's going to live on your page in infamy is a lot more stressful to me than a story that's going to be gone in 24 hours.
That's true.
And yes, I definitely go through phases of really being inspired by the people I follow and encouraged to tackle things in my home and in my life. But sometimes it kind of, it puts you down in a way because you feel like I'm not as good as that person. I'm not as pretty as her. Her house is more beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then I just need to step back because that's not, I don't need to feel that way looking at something that's supposed to be positive. So it's not, and I know there's this big movement with, channels and bloggers only sharing, the beautiful parts of their life, and then people feeling depressed about that. And I don't think it's not on the blogger's shoulders. They're doing what they do. Like, it's on me to just step back and be like, okay, I don't want to look at that right now. Or for a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's for your own personal mental clarity. And, when you do want to go back into it and be inspired, that's great. But if you need to step back, then take that time off.
Right. And how do you deal with, your channel's really big. It's a lot bigger than my channel. So do you deal with negativity a lot, or people saying mean things, or do you deal with that ever?
Honestly, I have been very, very blessed in that regard that no, I don't. I've definitely gotten mean comments or, just things that are hurtful and unnecessary. But they're few and far between.
That's good.
And I don't take them to heart.
Yeah.
And because I'm sharing interior design and things that I love, there's definitely going to be differing opinions, things that people don't like. But that doesn't bother me at all, because this is my home. My family's here. I'm not telling you have to decorate your house this way. I'm just sharing what I do. So if you don't like it, that's totally fine. That doesn't bother me.
That's so funny. We live in such a culture where everyone's just thinking about themselves, really. And I get that a lot, where people are they project to me that they're unhappy because what I'm doing is not what they wanted to see. And I'm like, I can't read your mind.
I know.
And this is my life, and I'm just just skip the videos that you see of mine that you don't like. Just skip them. Don't skip. But I was just laughing. I was laughing with my husband the other day, because I have somebody who I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning and post my videos, and I don't automatically schedule them. I actually have to be awake, because I also do a blog, so I kind of have to do a few things. Mm-hmm. And so every time I post a video, within seconds, somebody clicks the thumbs down. So I'm like, I said to my husband the other day, I'm like, this person subscribes to my channel with the sole intent of clicking thumbs down immediately as soon as I do a video. And we were just laughing. I was dying laughing. I'm like, it's kind of creepy. I'm so creeped out by that. You know what I mean? I hope they're not watching it right now. Assuming they really don't like my stuff, so they won't watch it. But I'm just like, that's just disturbing to me, So there is that element of, and that's why I don't share. There's a few reasons why I don't share as much as I would like to necessarily, because I'm just, I don't know who's watching my videos,
I've definitely, in that regard, pulled back with sharing my children.
Yeah,
I used to share more. And definitely in daily, day in the life type videos, you'll see them, but otherwise, I just don't want to hear anybody saying anything about them.
Me too. I don't want to hear anything. I put them in there every now and then, and I would love to put them in there more, because I think it's so cool to look back and, oh my gosh, they were that age, and I think that's neat. And, obviously we think our kids are great. I'd love for them to be on camera, but I'm the same way. I just can't deal with what I don't know out there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny about the thumbs down. I consistently get, I would say 10 to 12 thumbs down within the first couple hours of any video that I post.
I don't get that.
I do kind of feel like maybe it's the same people
people. I get the same, I have between 2 to 6 on every video, unless I do a controversial topic. But I get about 2 to 6. I'm like, it's the same 6 people. I get it. You don't like me. Please move on. Find someone you like and click thumbs up on their video. I just don't understand that. So, but that's the world we live in. That's funny.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of YouTubers take off the likes. They don't even allow you to like it.
I've noticed that. I don't even know how to do that, but
it's quite easy to do. I did that when I first started YouTube. The thumbs downs really bothered me. I'm like, I put so much into this. How dare you? But now I don't care. I really don't care. So, I put it back up.
Yeah. When you have hundreds of thumbs ups and a couple thumbs down, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, so exactly. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And I just know everyone's just going to love your channel. So you have to go check out Hilary's channel. I'll leave all of her information below. You will love her style. I mean, I just love watching how you decorate your home. And yeah, I hope that you will come back and talk to us again.
Yeah, anytime. Let me know. This was a pleasure. Thank
good.
you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for joining us on The Daily Connoisseur, and I will see you